Amanda. Hi, guys. Welcome back to another episode of Conversation with Muse. Today, I have a super great episode for you guys. I have the talented, the incomparable, my family, Amandabailey in the building. Hi, Amanda.
Ah,
Welcome to Conversation with Muse. How are you?
thank you. I'm good, thank you. I'm really, really good. I'm excited to be here. So
Thanks.
yeah,
Thanks
all
for
is good.
agreeing. I know that the time zones are off right now, so thank you for even taking the time to come on board, right?
Oh no.
I generally like to start the episodes with a really fun game. It's kind of like an icebreaker. We don't have to break the ice, right? But I think it's great for people to just get an idea of who you are. So we'll play a little
Mhm.
game of this or that, all right?
Okay, cool.
So I'm going to ask you some simple questions and you can say this or that. So it'll be very simple, like coffee or tea, right? I
Okay.
feel like I know all of these, but I just want to test you on camera.
Girl, you know I'm fussy already, but go on.
All right. So summer or winter?
Summer, for sure. Yeah,
Coffee or
summer.
tea,
None but tea if it's herbal.
if you have to. Okay.
Yeah.
Reading or watching a movie?
Oh, that's hard. Um, that's actually hard because it's dependent on mood. Like I read a lot,
Yeah,
but there's nothing nicer than just putting on a movie
a great
and
movie.
not thinking. Like so, a movie,
So
a movie.
movie.
I'll go with a
All
movie.
right, movie. Twitter or Instagram?
Instagram. I
Instagram.
still can't get my head around Twitter after how many years.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
And shopping online or in-store shopping?
Ooh. Um, I'm an in-store type of person. I like to see the material, make sure that it fits, and yeah, so definitely in-store. I haven't got time to be getting things to my house and then having to send it back. That's
Tried
all
on
on.
it. Even in pandemic, that's crazy. Okay, and then the last one, a night at home or out with friends?
Again, dependent on mood. I'm a homebody, but if it's like, it depends who I'm with as well.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, um, that one's a this or
Oh,
that.
okay, so we
like,
can
like,
swing either
yeah,
way then.
yeah,
Perfect, perfect.
yeah.
So obviously, not obviously, but Amanda is family. She is my cousin, and I really wanted to bring you on the show because you have so much happening for you right now. So tell the people a little bit about who you are, who is Amanda, and then we'll start there.
Cool. So I'm Amanda, and how can I describe myself? A free spirit, I would say. I don't stick to social norms. I don't. You can't put me in a box. Originally from the UK, Jamaican background, and currently reside in Dubai. Um, and so what am I? I started my own business last year, virtual assistant. I'm sure we'll get into that.
Yep.
And I've also worked in like administration and real estate for the past 10 years or so, as well as like fashion, but real estate within fashion as well. So a bit of an all-rounder.
Perfect, perfect. So tell me a little bit about what we're going to jump into the full conversation, but what
Mm.
is a virtual assistant for people that,
So
because I hear the term
it's
and I'm just like, okay, I know you guys do a lot, but if you had to put your pulse on it, what is a virtual assistant?
basically a personal assistant, but virtually. That's the easiest way to describe it. And a virtual assistant can do a plethora of things. It's just dependent on what you need them for.
Mhm.
So that could be admin tasks, or social media. Can do so many things. It's dependent on the virtual assistant's skill set and the services that they offer, as well as what the client needs, basically.
Perfect. And then you said you started your business. This story is so amazing. So I want you to tell the listeners your story of how you started your business in a pandemic, essentially.
So I was with Monique last year in Jamaica. um, well, no, first of all, I think it was about 2017-18. We were actually in Antigua, and I
Yes.
remember saying to you, I'm gonna set up a business. I know that I'm gonna set up a business. I don't know what or how I'm gonna do it. And left it at that. Then yeah, we were in Jamaica for our cousin's wedding last year, and left the UK thinking I'm going on a 2-week holiday, left my laptop, everything. The only thing I had on my mind was like, have I got my outfit for the wedding? Like, is that in my suitcase? That was all that was important.
And noodles, because I requested noodles.
Noodles. Yeah. And I was like, yeah, actually, I remember packing them like they've got to fit. So get to Jamaica. As you know, we had a fantastic time. It was, I think that's one of the best holidays of my life. And we've been on quite a few holidays. And
we actually went the weekend, the month before, like a month and a half before, because we were there for December, and then we came back in February or March.
Yeah. So get to Jamaica, have the best time, and one of my friends also flies out. So we're just cruising around Jamaica, having a holiday, and then we're hearing about the pandemic, still in our own little world. And then it was, your flight's cancelled. Huh? What do you mean my flight's cancelled? Can't get home. So we were trying to convince ourselves that that wasn't the case. So reading the fine print, and like, oh no, they couldn't do this, because we traveled via America. So our Esters had been revoked, and first world problems, like, what? We're from the UK, that can't be happening to us. So we decided to go to the airport anyway. But in that moment, actually, so that was like 2 days before, and the morning of, I was like, it kind of feels like the world is ending at this time. So maybe I will stay with my family here in Jamaica, because if anything were to happen, I can't get back to my parents. And at the time, my great grandma was ill as well. So I was just like, something happens, I can't get back to her. So I dropped my friend off to the airport, and something said, let me stick around. So I was like, I'm going to go Island Grill real quick and get some food. And then I get a call on my mobile saying, man, I can't get home. Like, it's true. They've revoked our Esters. We cannot get home. Like, I was like, what? And she was like, yeah, what are we going to do? So it was a Wednesday, and as a frequent flyer, I knew that British Airways was leaving from Kingston. We were in my base. So I was like, if you can get on a British Airways flight, I'll get you to Kingston. She was like, okay. So we're ringing around. She eventually gets a flight that she had to pay above the odds for. It was one of the last flights leaving Jamaica. So I get her, she leaves, everything. That's a story in itself, because she was like, that flight was like Soul Plane. It was mad. So then I decided to stay. In the first few days, it's like, okay, cool. And then I was meant to start work. But like I said, I'd left my laptop.
So you were going to be working remotely. Okay.
Yeah. So, well, it got to the day, like, if I'd got back to the UK, I would have been going to work.
Okay.
But bearing in mind, I'd actually been off work since January. I had like problems with my back and stuff. So I actually haven't seen my office since last year, January.
Okay.
And so I call them and I'm like, listen, I can't leave Jamaica right now. But I'm still going to work remotely. They're like, okay. But I was like, I haven't got a laptop, so I'm actually going to go and buy one. And they're like, okay. So I went to PriceMart and I got a refurbished laptop. And I was doing that for a while, working, getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning because of the time difference, and then finishing by 11 a.m. And then it was I just had the rest of the day. It's curfew now, so you just got to stay in your house. And I never talked to myself like this, but I just said, Amanda, if you do not do something with this time, you are an idiot. Like, you're just an idiot. And so I sat down and I built a website in 2 days. Like, I literally just built a website. I've never built a website for anything. And I was like,
it's exactly what you told me back in Antigua in 2017 or 18, whenever that was, when we were there. You kind of said, okay, in 2020, this is a time to do it. What was it that made you decide that you wanted to switch? Well, you wanted to kind of something that you thought about 2 or 3 years ago that you finally wanted to jump into it? Or on the flip side of that, what was hindering you from the time you said, this is what I want to do, to actually saying, okay, let me do it?
Self-belief, definitely self-belief. So yeah, not believing in myself. And the second, I think it was just the frequency of being in Jamaica, being around my mum, being around my grandma. And then I think a couple of days later, like my great no, it was a couple of days before my great grandma had passed, and maybe it was just that, like her spirit memory as well, and just being like, the best way to describe myself, I felt like, um, I remember I went at one point in Jamaica. I went to a mountain with my dad, and I was standing there, and I went silent. And he was like, "You're right. You're really silent." And I said, "I'm home." Like I felt like ancestors were talking, like whispered in my ear, saying, "You're home." And I felt like I was just filled with gold. Like if I was in Super Mario, I'd be chasing after them gold coins. Like, and I full up. Like
Yeah,
that
yeah,
is the.
yeah.
I think my frequency just changed, and it was this thing of like, you're limitless and you can do anything. And I'd been that way in other areas of my life. Like, I love traveling. I would jump on a plane, I would do things by myself.
Hmm.
But when you want to start your own business, you can only depend on yourself. It's your
Yeah.
own vision as well. Like no one else has that vision. And so it's having that self-belief and to be confident to put yourself out to the world and know that there's going to be judgment, there's going to be critique, and learn to kind of back them off. And
Yeah.
I don't care. So yeah, I think I just got to a point in my life and I was like, I have nothing to lose
Yeah. Wow,
at
and I
all.
think that's so important to recognize those moments, right? Because a lot of people get
Mm-hmm.
those, and Oprah called those aha moments, and a lot of people
Mm-hmm.
get those,
Mm-hmm.
and they don't hang on to it and kind of propel themselves into the next thing. So that's really amazing that you were able to hone in and say, you know what, this is the moment. There's no other time like the now. I do want
Yeah.
to switch gears a little bit. In you starting the business, you decided that, you know what, I'm here in Jamaica and I'm just going to find something to replace what I had going on in the UK, right? So how did you get into how did you even book your first client? Let's even start there, because a lot of people, that's the hardest step, right? Getting their first client for a new business. How were you able
So
to secure your first
I
client?
literally put myself on Instagram using hashtags, and someone found me through one of the hashtags, DM'd me, and it was a lady in America. She needed help with her website and email marketing. And I was like, cool. And it was the happiest feeling ever. I was like, oh my God, I've actually got a client. Like someone wants to work with me.
Yeah.
And I think once you get momentum, keep going, referrals, and yeah, it was amazing. It was absolutely amazing, and yeah, one of the best days of my life. Like
Yeah, that's the
what?
hardest thing, is to get a client, right? So once you get your first
Yeah,
time, it's like, oh, I'm in a groove now.
that boosts you. Yeah, that boosts you,
Yeah.
and you're like, okay, she came. I don't know her. She's in New York. I'm in Jamaica. Like I have no clue. And so yeah, and once I got that, I was just like, I've got
You
this.
got this. I love it. I love it. Now, you recently rebranded, right? You
Mhm,
rebranded you
mhm.
the virtual assistant business. Talk to us a little bit about AB Consultancy, and what that
Yeah.
is, and the direction that it's taken.
So I switched from like amandabailey VA to AB Consultancy just because I want to bring others on board. Also thinking in a business mindset, 5, 10 years down the line, I might have investors that, might want to invest in me, and I don't want to sell my name, as it were.
Mm-hmm.
So I rebranded for that purpose. And also I'm now kind of weaving out of VA. There was a lot that I learned in this first year of business, and I've been very fortunate to learn it. I wouldn't say lucky because I don't believe in luck. It's very fortunate having, the preparation, meeting the opportunity. And so through my time, it got to summer. So I was like, um, June, July, August, 4 months, 5 months in, and I was ram packed, like literally ram packed. And it's what you do as a new business owner. Yeah, I'll help you. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Looking at
Mm-hmm.
them coins, money's
Mm-hmm.
coming in, but like as me one, I can't do. Actually, I did hire someone to help me,
Mm-hmm.
um, but I realized that I can't do everything myself, and I wasn't giving the service that these clients that I was promising these clients and
Okay.
that they deserved as well. And so what that got me looking at was client experience. We look at customer service, but we don't look at client experience.
Mm-hmm.
Like how is it? And that is really taking off now because a lot of things are going online.
Yeah.
Um, so I looked at client experience, and I also looked at the way businesses as a whole onboard new clients. And so I've fundamentally come up with my own framework that I use now to offer gap analysis and audits for client experience and onboarding, from like onboarding new client to their to them finding you. How are they finding you? To them coming on a discovery call. It doesn't mean you're necessarily going to convert them, but I can give you tips and stuff to make sure that that call goes well. To what's the next step? Are you leaving them hanging, or like is paperwork being sent out, contract, invoice, proposal, like just, and letting the client know the next steps as well, and keeping communication open all the way through the delivery of the service to the offboarding. And I found there was a great gap in the market. Like there's a massive gap, and I was like, this is needed. So yeah, that's primarily what I do now.
I love that. So essentially you're helping businesses, big, small, like all businesses, do their onboarding process. It's initial. So is it mostly agencies that you're working with, or what kind of businesses are these?
Yeah, so mainly agencies I am working with at the moment. I do have some coaches as well. So I have 2 coaches and consultants, but mainly agencies. And it doesn't matter if you're a startup or if you've been in business for a number of years, because a lot of people don't go back and audit the way that they do on board.
Absolutely.
Or like, I didn't just start this, I'd done market research as well. I actually put research out there to make sure that this is a service that will be needed and people do want. And a lot of the feedback that I got was just like it overwhelms me. It's messy. I don't have a process. I do have a process, but it's a bit outdated. And so yeah, I do like a gap analysis, and I do a customer journey analysis as well. So I get people to score themselves on certain parts, and then I put the scores in a chart so they can visually see what they've scored themselves, and let's
And
get
the potential of where they can be. Oh, that's
Correct.
amazing. I love that, because when you really think about it in client consulting business, so for example, if someone, I don't know, if someone's listening and you're wondering, how does this relate to anything? To put it as simple as possible, if Monique was a life coach therapist, and I put ads out on Facebook to say, sign up now for your free consultation, or sign up to speak to an expert about changing your life for the better, right? So someone signs up, Jessica signs up, and she says, okay, the call is going to be Monday at 3 p.m. Monique gets on the call Monday at 3 p.m. and I'm just asking a simple question. I probably don't have I think my process is great, but I'm missing so much. I'm missing the follow-up. So you basically come in, and the agency will come in and say, okay, this is how you would streamline this. So once you first meet that client, you can take them through the entire onboarding, audit, and everything. Perfect.
Yeah, correct. Like looking at systems, like there's something you said there, the person can book their call. Do they know where to book their call? Where's the link to book their call? Like, how are they booking their call? Are you pre-qualifying your leads? We can't just work with everyone. And that's what I was saying. In the first few months that I was working as a VA, I was working with everyone. So this isn't just for certain business owners, it's for all business owners. We all want to make money, we all want to save time, and we all want to scale, but let's do it strategically and with the right systems in place. And like, let's stop using manual systems, make this automated, make it work for everyone, but make it personal to your business and for your clients as well. So,
that is amazing. Maybe because I'm a marketing geek, this is like, you're speaking my language. I'm just like, yes, automation, auditing, because that's one of the things that I am big with. You just mentioned it. It's not working with everyone. Not saying you're above or anything, but you have to know your niche. In anything that you're doing, it is super important for you to know your niche, and you water that so you can grow a garden from that. Because if you're, like you're saying, accepting all these clients like you initially did when you started, your bandwidth becomes too thin, and you're not able to focus on the thing that right? Like you are probably a genius at one thing, but you know a plethora of things, but you had to hone in on that one thing. So that's amazing that you're able to
go and study and honor your craft, and don't be scared to say no. You don't have to say yes all the time. And a lot of people are scared to say no, even not just in business, in life. Like, oh, I can't say no. Put boundaries. Boundaries will let you grow, and boundaries work. Like, they're super important. super,
Super,
super
super
important.
important. Thanks for that, Amanda. I really, really love that. Now, how hard was it to decide to rebrand? Because rebranding is super, super challenging. And if you do it at the wrong time or you rebrand to the wrong thing, you can kind of lose everything that you have going, right? All the momentum
Mm-hmm.
that you have. And coming into that first year of business, that's really where you're working the hardest. So, how hard was it for you to say, okay, it is time to rebrand?
Yeah, it wasn't necessarily hard because I'd made the decision a few months back and I wasn't in a line with the old brand, as it were. And I was like, I can do so much more. And sometimes having your, like, it's dependent on each business, everyone, for each to their own. I just felt like having my face as part of the brand, it didn't need to be that anymore. Like, I can still give great value through my like my socials and the content that I put out, not necessarily having to be me. Um, and there's companies that do it. I mean, people beg to differ and they'd be like, no, people buy from people and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think it just went with where I am at in my life as well, like starting fresh, starting new. And I was like, why wouldn't I do that with my business as well? Like, yeah, it just felt a bit stagnant and old. So.
Okay, cool, cool. Now we've seen you featured on the first one of the first interviews I saw once you started the business was on, was it CVTV? What was it? It was on
TVJ.
yes, on CVTVJ, and then Forbes articles and all these features are coming in. How how does it feel to know that something you finally decide to jump into and say, you know what, I'm putting my all in, to see kind of pay off where all of these things starts to like put momentum behind it and put fire under it and lighting it up? How was that for you?
I had to slap myself because I was like, is this me? Like, it made, not that it didn't make any sense, but I was so grateful, really, really grateful. And I was just like, this is what happens when you take action.
Yes.
So you just have to take action. Like we all have a parachute and it will open and you will eventually land. You may not land in the field that you're set out for, but you will land. And yeah, the lesson that I took away from that was, look what happens when you take action. Look what happens when you follow your vision. Look what happens when you put things in place and just have the smallest belief in yourself. Because it wasn't like, I was like, listen, I'm doing this and
Mm-hmm,
everyone's going to
mm-hmm.
love me. And no, I was literally closing my eyes. I remember it was my birthday last year and I closed my eyes and I pressed it and I was like, follow this
Hit
penny.
send, yeah.
Like, I was so timid. And then, yeah, it blew up. And I was just like, that's what you get for taking action, and support as well. Like my family, everyone supported me,
Yes.
everyone was behind me. And I think, yeah, when you first do it, you're just like, oh, anyone gonna get it? No one even knows what it is. And
Mm-hmm.
but the support has been and still is phenomenal.
And it's good to have a good team. And I feel like you have an
Mm.
amazing team of people that are with you, whether it's friends or family.
Mm-hmm.
So having a good team to kind of push you and keep you in like in a safe
Super
space where no
blessed.
matter if you, yeah, no
Yeah.
matter if you fail or not, like at least you're doing it and you have that support behind you. So I,
Yeah, so blessed, so blessed, and just like hardworking family members as well. Like I remember when we were in Bali, Monique's
yes.
sitting there on her laptop, like, yeah, I can't turn up right now.
Listen, at that
But
time, I was still in the office, so I couldn't, even though I was on vacation, because I was the head of a
mhm.
department, I couldn't be on vacation. I still had to work and do all
Correct.
these
But then
things.
that was inspiring as well. And that's all part of it as well, because my life has changed and I'm always on my phone and I'm always answering emails and stuff. And it must look rude to people, but it's like, this is my living. This is what I've now put myself into.
Hmm.
So, yeah, this is what I'm doing. But like, as for the support is there because people understand. Like the people around me understand. And yeah, there's inspiration all around as well.
That's
So.
amazing. You know, it's funny you say that, and I'm just gonna side note. I used to be one of those people that you just speak about that says, "Oh, it's rude to someone's doing something while," and now I get it. Like I look at people so different now. It's just like, okay, if I'm out to
Mhm.
dinner and the person across from me is on their phone, as long as they're not like on Instagram posting
Correct.
selfies or
Yeah,
something,
that's different because I do put my phone away, but if I take it out and I've got an email or there's something urgent or it's like something's come up whilst I'm going to dinner, I'm gonna do both.
Yeah.
As much as I do like to be present and I do feel away, but I'm like I'm making money. My
Yeah.
time is money
Give
right
people
now.
grace. If you're listening to this and you're not that person and you're dating someone in that arena, give them grace, because it's not being rude. It's also, and yes, people are going to be like, well, it's a time and a place for everything. Absolutely. But money doesn't sleep. So,
No, it doesn't.
yeah,
And if you're a one man band as well, like, you
true.
know, or even if you're not a one man band, but if you're the head of something, then a lot of decisions lie on you and
Hmm.
things need answering. And it's not, you know, sometimes there's no fires that need putting out. No one's burning, no one's dying. But yeah, sometimes it bees like that. It goes that
It
way. So
bees like that. So, what is next
yeah.
for the brand? I know that just rebranding. You're doing the onboard process and strategies. What is next for the brand?
So just to get that out, the awareness of it, it is new a lot, and get people understanding through the content that I'm putting out as well, understanding that it's important. It's the first steps for your clients, so
Hmm.
it's super important. And yeah, understanding the difference between client experience and customer service, and putting out case studies. There's so many brands that have great client experience. So sometimes you have to put things out visually and use case studies for people to understand as well. So yeah, doing marketing, your space. So doing a lot of marketing basically.
Talk to us a little bit about we spoke about processes earlier and some of the
Mm-hmm.
softwares and stuff that you kind of help businesses. If there is someone listening that just doesn't know where to start, what would your recommendation be for the first thing, the initial thing for them to, before even getting to someone like yourself? How do I audit my personal brand and see if I need help in this area or not? Because a lot of people don't recognize that, right? So where would you, what information would you be able to give to anyone, if any at all? Because I know sometimes it's just like,
So
nah, come to me first.
no. Look at what you're good at and what you're not good at.
Hmm.
Look at what you like and what you don't like. Look at what you understand and don't understand. And everything that is no or don't is in the box. You outsource that. That's when you go and get help for that. And because you're outsourcing it to a professional where they're working on it all the time, use them. Definitely use them. I think a lot of people, when they start businesses as well, you don't have to go all out. You don't need to go big. So I built this website because I thought, well, I need a website to start my business. Theoretically, you don't. You can start with just Instagram. You can start with
Hmm.
just Facebook if you wanted to. Have a link to a scheduler. As long as there's a way for people to contact you, you're good. And then you can build upon that. Like don't put so much pressure on yourself. There's a lot of pressure and competition, especially, you know, I didn't even know that part of Instagram, that little corner of Instagram existed with all these virtual assistants that are worldwide and stuff. It
Hmm.
was like, what is this? And then you get into it and there's a lot of competition, people saying that you should do this and that. And just do what's right for you. That's the advice I'd give. So yeah, feel what's right for you in your business. Look at what you like, what you don't like, what you understand and what you don't understand. And anything like I said that you don't understand or you don't like, you go and get help with those things, or you research if you do want to do it yourself, because sometimes people don't have the money.
Hmm.
So study it yourself as well. And don't feel shy to reach out to the professionals, not necessarily to pick their brain, but asking one or two questions. People don't mind that.
Okay, perfect. And do you offer consulting for your services?
Yeah. So I have like a free 15-minute um, call. And then, yeah, so the actual audit is a 90-minute consultation with recommendations and showing the audit.
Yeah.
And then if it comes out of it and you want to go with my recommendations and you want me to build out systems, I can do that as well. So there's like two parts.
Two parts. Okay. And the first part is really just like that first 15-minute briefer to say, oh, well, yes, I can help you. Because like you said,
Yeah,
it's not just saying yes to
I
everything.
can't.
Everything doesn't
Yeah,
work with the
exactly.
brand, right?
Right, correct.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. And just winding down here, obviously, you know, she's kind of dropped some of the locations in the interview throughout, but we know that you're a free spirit and you are a traveler, right? Um, how has traveling kind of helped you be better at the person that you are? Because, like you mentioned earlier, you're one of the people I love because I can say, Amanda, let's do this, and you're out, right? You will travel by yourself, you go places. And I think that takes a special person to be able to get up and say, you know what? I don't feel well in this place. Let me go somewhere else. Like you speak about right now, you're in Dubai, where the last time I spoke to you, we were in Jamaica. And you said, "Oh, I'm going to go home." I don't even think you went home for 2 weeks, good, and then you flew back out. So how has being a free spirit and being that type of girl kind of just bettered you as an individual?
I think I've always been a free spirit, and looking back now, you do things for your inner child, right? So
Mm.
when I was younger, my mum worked for a bank, and she worked the trading floor. Decided, okay, I don't like this anymore. I'm going to be made redundant. Went and studied beauty and had a hair and beauty shop for 11 years.
Mm-hmm.
So I spent a lot of my time there. But I would also leave from there and go and sit in restaurants by myself. I'd go to the cinemas by myself. I'd go swimming by myself. And this is from the age of 11 upwards. And so I've never
Really?
been afraid to do, yeah, I've never been afraid to do things by myself. And I think once you know yourself, like I know myself fully, then that gives you the confidence to do things in other areas of your life as well. And just to be open minded. And I love traveling because I love learning different cultures and understanding different parts of the world. Like
Mm-hmm.
there's no greater knowledge than traveling. Like, and I'm not saying it always has to be somewhere exotic. It can be in the same country that you're in, but in a different part of the country. They live differently. Like,
Mm-hmm.
um, so yeah, I think it goes back to that, from just being a child and being like, I can't wait on, my best friend to be like, yeah, I'm going to come, or my parents to say. My parents gave me a lot of independence from a young age. I was walking home from school at like 9 years old, um, and that has helped me, definitely.
That's
But
amazing.
yeah, sometimes that goes against you because people are intimidated by that, but can't
It
help
works.
feeling.
If it works for you, it works for you. Absolutely. Amanda, this is
Yeah.
really great. Tell us how, or tell the people how they can contact you or where they can find you and your services.
Yeah, so mainly Instagram. It's AB Consultancy underscore on Instagram. You can find me there. There's a link in my bio where you can book in a free 15-minute consultation. Um, yeah, that's how you can find me.
Perfect. Amanda, thank you so much. I love
Thank
you.
you.
Hugs and
I love you
kisses.
too.
Happy
Thank
belated
you for having
birthday to
me.
your brother. I saw it was his
Ah,
birthday
yeah.
yesterday.
13 now, big man.
Grown man now, huh? Amanda, I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Conversation with Muse. If you like the content that you're seeing on the channel, go ahead and subscribe. Comment, share, tell your friends and family members about us. If you're listening to us on any of the streaming platforms and you want to see the visuals of what this looked like, go on YouTube and hit subscribe as well. Thank you for watching this episode, and I'll see you guys next time.